All right, what do you want to watch? Easy A?
I already saw it.
Spotlight.
I already watched that too.
Powder.
I already saw that.
You've watched everything.
Nobody watches everything.
I didn't think this about me as a person, Clayton, but it's possible the longer I watched Annie Hall, the more, like, I don't know what being anti-Semitic is, but I think this movie made me it. And that's not the fault of the Jewish people. That is the fault solely of Woody Allen. So maybe I'm Woody Allen and anti-Semitic. I don't know the fucking word. I'm not anti-Semitic.
You're anti-Woody. Like
but my fucking God, does everybody with that name have to be a disgusting piece of shit? Shots fired, Rochester. We're on video this week. Motherfuckers!
We are on video. And what is that show that we're on video for?
Nobody watches everything.
Yeah! Oh man, this is a very special episode because
I'm excited. I'm gonna be. Go ahead.
No. I felt like because of your feelings for this movie, everyone needs to see our faces and see how we react and how everything. This is gonna be fun. We started a YouTube channel for this, and we're gonna do a TikTok and do all the other cool, wacky stuff. Yeah, you can. This is the kind of weird shit that we do. Like,
my boob!
No, that's gonna get us taken off of YouTube.
Titties, baby, titties. Welcome to Nobody Watches Everything. We bring the titties.
We talk about it a lot, and now you get to see them.
That's right.
Oh man. But as Rick has mentioned, and we're getting into it, you've seen the title, you know what's up. We're talking about Annie Hall, the movie from 1977.
Yeah, whatever remember. It's from. It's fucking stupid.
Who
1977.
fucking cares?
Oh my fucking God. So many people I know say they love this movie, and every one of them are just a fucking idiot, clearly.
Yeah. It's
You're wrong. We'll get into it. Hang on.
All right.
Let's dial it
Calm.
back. Calm.
All right. So, I think that you're very excited to talk about this movie. And we just got to let Michael get into it.
Let's let him tell us about the movie, and then we'll talk about the movie.
All right. So,
maybe
Michael,
we'll change our minds during the theme.
Yeah, right. Maybe his words will make us less annoyed. So, Michael, do what you do.
Comedian L.V. Singer examines the rise and fall of his relationship with struggling musician Annie Hall. Speaking directly to the audience in front of a bare background, L.V. reflects briefly on his childhood and his adult years before settling in to tell the story of how he and Annie met, fell in love, and struggled with the obstacles of modern romance. Annie Hall, the most fun you can have without laughing.
Okay, Rick, go.
Let me tell you right now, it was terrible. Now, I went into this movie, clear eyes, full heart, can't lose. Like, I went into this movie with I went in telling myself ahead of time. Sorry, I'm all fucked up. I went in telling myself ahead of time that I wasn't going to watch this movie as somebody who knows about Woody Allen now. I was watching this movie as someone who would have seen this movie in 1978.
Right.
It was fucking awful. If I watched this movie, if I had been 43 years old in 1978, one, I'd definitely be dead right now. But
Yeah.
2, because I would have killed myself right after the movie, because the 78 in New York, it was already like the summer of Sam had just happened. Fucking, it was horrible. There was crime everywhere. Like, New York City was a cesspool of rape and porn and fucking illogical murders, and the crack pandemic had just gotten going, and there was cocaine everywhere, and just fucking New York was just a fucking garbage pile. And then this fucking movie comes out, and it just makes New York City then seem tame, because it was so stupid. Fuck anyone who talks about this movie being the best romantic comedy of all time. No, fucking Nell with Jodie Foster is a better romantic comedy than fucking Annie Hall.
So, I think I'm about to surprise you. You ready?
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Oh my God, you better not.
I think this movie is a good movie. I also don't care for it at all. This is some shocking
This is
shit.
a good movie?
Well, all right. So I'm about to say some like wild shit. I think, especially for the time. So one of the things that I've thought about, especially when we were doing like the last season, is how poorly comedies hold up. They hold up real bad, especially if they're so like of the time, where they're just like, I'm gonna call people the R word and I'm gonna be homophobic and shit. And I don't know if it's just because a bunch of white dudes decided to ape this movie, but this movie is on a level decently made. I think it's like one of the only Woody Allen movies where he isn't fucking a child. Because a lot of his movies are about him like fucking like a 17-year-old or some weird shit, like some weird shit that I don't care for.
I mean, his friend did.
His friend did, yeah. It's there. He has to get it in. He has to have his kink. Like he can't. He's like, I'm gonna be the normal one. I'm just gonna be like, I fuck younger women than me, but they're only like 7 years younger than me. Versus,
I mean, Diane Keaton was only 22 years old when this movie was made.
No, she wasn't. I know
Yes,
exactly. She was in her 30s.
Oh, was she? Maybe I'm bad at maths. Oh. Now that we got company looking at us, you're gonna make fun of me in front of my friends and make me look stupid.
I only know
All
that
right.
because I remember. So that's
She was
what
32.
Yeah,
All right.
That's what made me think about that, because it was like, oh yeah, Diane Keaton is 32, he's 40. There are 8 years of difference, but it's like not weird the same, and in the same way of him being still 40 and his love interest is 17. Like that's fucking nutty, where you're like 23 years older than this person and they're still a child. Like, the fuck out of here, Woody. But I will say this. I think it's structurally like interesting. I think it has all these things that I know that a lot of romantic comedies later stole.
Oh, so many fucking movies aped off this movie.
Mm-hmm.
So many. They stole fucking full scenes. They stole lines. They stole fucking like just the way it was shot. They stole from this movie.
Yeah. Now I say all this. I hate this movie.
I wish it was somebody besides Woody Allen.
I don't even know if I can.
Even if he directed it. If it was fucking 1978 Warren Beatty, this movie would have been better. Even if it was like fucking, I think for a fact, I think if it was like somebody unattractive, you know what I mean? Like somebody like Dustin Hoffman.
Okay.
Instead of Woody Allen, I would have liked it better. I cannot stand the Woody Allen character that is him, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But the character he portrays, like who he is as a person, as an actor, as a comedian, I cannot, it's him.
I hate it. And he makes all the people, when he isn't himself in the movie, he has someone do all of his mannerism and his things. And that's where I want to get into where my hate for this movie. I fucking hate the people in this movie. I can't stand them because I have known all the people in this fucking movie, and it makes me so annoyed watching this bullshit where this is like the prototype hipster fucking yuppie, like liberal, not leftist or not, like this is liberal white kids who have lived in fucking like comfort and never had to struggle for anything, so they get to have magical lives in New York, where all of a sudden they're living in dirty giant apartments with books every fucking where, and all they talk about is Bruce and blah 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 blah, because they don't have any fucking personalities. That's the big thing about this movie that I despise, is that it is produced just like watching Animal House, just like watching fucking Van Wilder. It is produced the most obnoxious white people in the history of white people. Beyond just like I fucking just like, it's so up its own ass. It's so up its own ass. It's
so bad. Like unbelievably up its own ass.
And I hate it because it's like I was watching the movie and I was like, this is well made. I'm feeling, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I don't care, but I'm also like, it's early. I'm bringing my feelings of Woody Allen being not my favorite into this, and I'm like, I got to cut that out of my brain. I'm like,
Exactly.
all right. I'm like, all right. And then I'm watching it more, and then I'm like, oh wow, that's shot well. Oh well, this is a well structured scene. Oh, I like that this isn't linearly told. All it, and then I'm like, God fucking damn it, this is all the other fucking dramas that came out. This is Garden State. This is
I love Garden State. I don't give a fuck.
I know a lot of people love Garden State, but there's like it's the, and Diane Keaton's not the manic pixie dream girl, but Diane Keaton in this movie is also so fucking annoying.
She's awful.
She's awful.
She's empty. She's an empty glass, and nobody fills it. Just the whole time she walks around like a dry canteen.
Yeah, like it's such a. Go please. I'm excited. Like, but
this movie does something magical. I will tell you something about this movie, which was crazy to me. This movie has every like older actress that I, for no reason, found attractive in my like teenage years. It had Diane Keaton. It had Carol Kane. It had Shelley Duvall. Like, and I found all of them. Like, I love Carol. I have a crush on Carol Kane and like Scrooged. I have such a crush on her. Shelley Duvall, I had a crush on her in fucking everything for some reason.
Really?
Like, yeah, it's weird. It doesn't make any sense because I don't find like super skinny chicks attract. Like, I'm not usually into like super skinny chicks.
Mm-hmm.
What's up, Dickies? No, like no, but like I usually don't. But for some reason, like Shelley Duvall, ever since I saw like Popeye when I was a little kid, I was like, man, something's up with that string bean. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. I know. I want to fuck olive oil. I don't get it.
I understand Carol Kane because I was like, all right, I get it. Like, God damn, that's the funny thing about this movie is like, it jumps all around. And I respect it. I respect the filmmaking of this movie. That's like the wild, like there's that scene where
I get what you're saying.
There's like there's a scene where they're watching their younger self, or watching fucking Diane Keaton's younger self talking to that one guy or whatever, and it's a split screen, and I know how it's shot because you can see all the like flaws of like how they have to shoot this kind of thing, but it's like a great thing. And it's such a fucking cool thing to use it in a movie where it's just showing something interesting versus like, this is like the Parent Trap where someone has to play two characters. It's like, no, they're using fucking stuff that would have been like high end in that time period, like special effects in a weird way, to just do like an interesting shot to tell a story. It's doing a lot to tell the story, and I like that so much. I just wish these fucking rich yuppie cocksuckers weren't so unappealing to watch. Like, I know this is like, as a fucking guy who is been in, like, does comedy and has watched comedy his entire life, and because there's been always this like dichotomy between black comics and white comedy, quote unquote white comedy.
Here we go.
Comedy is like legit one of the wild things of where it definitely has that feeling of like there is white people comedy. Like, I don't think there's like really white people shit in real life like that, but comedy hits that way because it's so culturally different that you're watching this fucking movie and it's like she's like a 31-year-old in college, which is fine, but she's like goofing off in college, and then she's gonna be able to go, and they're doing coke and they're living in Manhattan, and she has no job, and he's a comedian, so that's how he pays for stuff. But it's like
kind of famous, right? Like he was like
he's a person on TV, and again, I thought that scene where like the person's like forcing to recognize him, I thought that's a funny scene in a movie. I think that's like a funny situation, but it is so fucking like it reminded me of watching the show Girls. Like, I hated the show Girls because it is such a unpleasant, waspy white girl TV show.
That's true.
And then I watched this movie, and it is it's like they're all supposed.
Probably everybody in this movie had gross floppy tits, so it was just like Girls.
Yes, Woody Allen's tits, horrible.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But like 70s small boobs are weird. They're not the same as 2020 small boobs.
Oh, nothing is the same. So 70s, I think, is like the hardest era on people because because it's not even the same Coke. It's like the starter Coke. Like 80s Coke it feels like it was made to be like, we're hipping and dopping and we're moving and we're shaking and like we gotta get. They
didn't step on it yet in the 70s. They didn't know about like laxatives and baby formula and shit like that. It was all fucking
Well,
these girls did lines until their fucking titties turned into flapjacks, and then. Now I'm saying this as one who has titties that are not unlike flapjacks.
We saw them earlier, and
anyways. Fuck you, Lena Dunham. Anyways, go on.
Yeah, fuck Lena Dunham. Always and forever.
I'm calling you out. You and Patrick Wilson forever.
We're two dudes built exactly like Lena Dunham. Fuck Lena Dunham. Honestly, she's a terrible person.
Yeah, she's not great.
But you watch this fucking movie and it's like, who am I supposed like? I'm okay with watching a movie where there isn't a person I'm supposed to be like sympathetic to.
Yeah.
But you can tell you that these are supposed to be characters that you're supposed to like. But I don't like them because they're not interesting. They're not interesting in that fucking well-off person where it's like Jen watches Gilmore Girls, and because she watches it so much every year, I've seen all of Gilmore Girls now.
For sure. That's like me with Friends. Same thing.
Right. And so watching Gilmore Girls, every time she's watching it, I'm like, fuck Rory. Rory is a piece of shit. Rory's the daughter. Kid? Yeah, she's the daughter. The whole series is about her bigging up herself about being talented and smart, and she's living off the fact that she reads books, and that's her whole thing. She doesn't put any work in. She always pretends like she's trying really hard even though she's not, because you have other characters who are smarter than her, who work harder than her, but because she's rich, she gets through to stuff, and she never takes into consideration that she's rich. She likes to brag about being rich, but she never takes into consideration that she hasn't worked hard enough. It's just her being rich. And she'll be like, I should get this job because I went to Yale. And it's like, you went to Yale because your grandfather went to Yale and he bought a fucking wing of Yale. You're a legacy. She's like, I deserve this job because I read books and stuff. You didn't work as hard as your roommate, who you hated at first, and then she became your best friend. But you think that she's only getting ahead because she fucked her professor. But no, she still works harder than you. That's why she was valedictorian.
Is this a Gilmore Girls podcast?
Oh, it's about to be, because
yeah,
it's this kind of thing that it's also the same way, the feeling I have about Miss Maisel. Both of them are written by the same person, Gilmore Girls and Miss Maisel, where it's like, as two comics, you have to struggle. You're struggling. You're working really hard trying to figure stuff out. And then watching Miss Maisel, she's lucked into everything and then gets mad. She gets mad at fucking people not, when I'm like, you don't write material, you don't do anything, you just show up to places to have a microphone and start talking. Then you're like, why am I not headlining? And it's like, you're not doing anything. And
yeah, but we know those people.
Oh, we do. And that's what makes,
and they're not just ladies. Everybody calm down out there.
I just want, these are the two things that are that come up because they're like, they speak volumes to a type of person. Like shitty dude TV shows, they don't work hard either, but it's, the whole thing is like, they're a slacker. That's the big the difference between those two. They're both like shitty white people, but one's like, I'm a slacker, and everyone's like, oh, you're charming. And then you have the other ones where it's like, you're supposed to care. You're supposed to be like, she deserves it because she's the main character of this show. And it's like, that's bad. Both characters are shitty.
Yeah, success only comes to people who are plucky on television.
Mm-hmm. And when I watch this movie, that's all I think about, is that you have fucking Diane Keaton not doing anything. She sings at a bar sometimes, and he's like, you should sing. Well. She's average at like
she's karaoke fine.
Yeah, it is. And not only that, she's the kind of karaoke fine where it's like, a person can sing enough, but they make the whole night about them. And then you get mad because when you're normally doing karaoke, everyone's circling around, everyone's hanging out, everyone's singing the song that you're like, oh my God, you fucking played this? Yes. There are karaoke songs. And then that person starts singing some random ass song that they're like,
it's like, what are you doing?
Like,
her song choices are awful.
Yeah. Oh, you wanted to sing. You want us to know that you can sing. Go fuck yourself, because
diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, shut up and sing Killing Me Softly, you fucking asshole.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's like, sing the fucking song. We all want to sing Chumbawamba right now, and you're blowing
so bad.
like karaoke is about fucking everyone who can't get on stage right now getting to enjoy the whole moment. And then
I'm the asshole who sang Thunder Road at your wedding. So
I mean, that's a wedding, and there's a lot of singers at my wedding, so that's more than fine. And also, everyone loved it. That's killed that shit. You killed that shit. It was fucking fun. This is like that was
so fun.
That was so fun. We got to do it again.
How y'all do a karaoke party? Anyways, back to this you always know when we watch a fucking gigantic turd of a movie when we just start talking about the songs we did at your wedding for karaoke. And Lena Dunham's Flapjack.
And I feel bad because, again, I think this is a structurally sound movie. Like, this isn't
like the way it ended. I wrote that in my notes.
It's one of those things where I'm like, if I didn't hate this movie, I would love this movie. Like it's one of those. Like I know that's
Yeah.
a stupid.
No, I
sounding-
understand what you mean. No, it is shot super well, but it's the same guy. It's Gordon Willis. He shot all the Godfather movies. Like he shot like the cinematographer of this movie. He knows what the fuck he's doing. Like he shoots it really well because he's fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
And he's the Oscar winner. He's just fucking magnificent. So it's shot super well. Structurally, it's fine. Like I like. It's the people in it. It's the words.
yeah.
I like that I like movies where he doesn't get the girl, where people don't get the girl, because that's real life. Because really in life, you only really get one girl.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? One guy. Like you don't just fucking land the girl of your dreams. Most people get their souls ripped out of them at least one time.
Yeah.
And I
you
like
get that one person
movies about that.
And I like it's that kind of thing of like. I think it's well shot, well edited. It's even well performed. No one's doing
It's well acted.
It's well acted. No one's
It was
doing
fun to see Christopher Walken and Jeff Goldblum.
God
that was
damn
fun.
it. That was cool as shit where all of a sudden you got a young Christopher Walken who's talking about being suicidal.
That scene I loved. Because Wedding Crashers stole that fucking scene to the creepy brothers sitting upstairs, like saying weird shit. You know what I mean? Like that was Christopher Walken, and Christopher Walken was in fucking Wedding Crashers, so that was like,
he
thing
was.
that I realized when I was watching that he played the dad. In the situation, right? Like, and in this, like the son was doing what he was doing in Annie Hall.
Yeah.
Which I didn't realize until I watched it today. Like I was like, oh shit, okay, that's kind of cool. But then the scene where he's like talking about being suicidal while driving, and then he's giving them a ride to the airport and he's like flying, and Woody Allen just has the face of somebody who's terrified. That was a fucking great scene. I'll give credit where credit's due. That was outstanding.
That's why it makes me so frustrated about this. It's like that's a fucking funny scene. Then there's the iconic scene of like they're all trying to do coke and then he sneezes during the coke, and I'm like, that's a pretty funny scene in a movie. There are a lot of funny scenes in this movie. There are a lot of funny ideas. I even think if you removed the pretension of the characters from this movie, I would love this movie because
remove everything that Woody Allen had to do with this movie.
Yeah, it's like I know Woody Allen built the structure and he built the story that's going on, but take away the fucking Upper East Side waspness of it all, and it becomes something so where it's like, oh my god, yeah, that's how funny. Where it's like one of the scenes that, and I only found out like later because I saw it in like fucking 21 Jump Street, is like the scene where they're doing the lobsters and stuff. And I remember they do that in 21 Jump Street, and I was like, that's a weird thing, and I had no connection to what that was. And then watching this, like, oh my god, it made me appreciate other comedies for being like silly and stealing scenes from this or doing that. And it's like, this movie,
but that's just an homage because those dickheads liked it.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like,
I'm not going to make a movie and steal scenes from Wendigo.
Yeah, right. Well, you didn't love it. You only steal from what you love.
That's what I mean. Like, it's fucking, man, it was, here's the thing. Woody Allen's character in this movie, and I don't know if this is what he intended, but he was a fucking complete asshole.
Yeah.
The whole time. Like, he was a selfish, self-centered, condescending, like fucking jealous, like creepy fucking, you know, like he's following her around and shit. Like, you're not supposed to follow ex-girlfriends around.
Right.
You don't do that.
You don't.
Not even in 1978 is it normal fucking move to just follow your ex-girlfriend around town.
But it's so funny that it's like he has to actually follow her rather than being like now where it's like just checking her Facebook or Instagram or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's just
that we do all the time.
Yeah. And it's so, but it's like, it's that kind of thing where I'm like, and this is what makes this movie frustrating is that I understand the movie. I know that all the beats and bits that's a movie I would like. That is a
Well,
movie.
yeah, there is a
yeah.
movie that you would like. It's called fucking High Fidelity.
Yeah, yeah.
Like where this guy is going through a breakup and he goes through his other past relationships to see what fucking went wrong. And you know what I mean? Like it's that.
It's High Fidelity. I'm trying to think of another. It's 500 Days of Summer.
Yeah.
It's like all these movies come, and even though like I'm not like in love with 500 Days of Summer for a lot of reasons.
It's cute though.
It's cute. It's cute. But there's also just I want to see more of like this type of structure to a movie that doesn't involve like well-off assholes. That doesn't involve like people who are like, because that's what makes it hard to care about this movie, because it's like you if in real life, not as a normal fucking person, like you worrying about the relationship also means like you struggled during that. Like he's a rich asshole, she's a rich asshole. They're not worried. Like the fact that them as themselves, like the lobster scene is cute enough. It's a cute enough scene, but then you realize that two fucking frail white people are going to boil several lobsters for themselves.
Yeah, what are they doing there? What's going on? Why do they have 8 lobsters for just
that where they have lobsters going behind the counter? Like I'm a big fucking dude and I'm eating one lobster, and I'm like, oh shit,
a lobster.
Like, lobsters are fantastic.
So fucking good.
But I'm like, you're about to boil up 8 lobsters, and then like, because it's TV in a movie, you're about to eat the tail and it's done. You're not going to eat anything, and it's just going to be waste. And you're going to have 14 other lobsters that you don't eat.
Get them little legs. Get in them.
Yeah.
Get in
like
them
you're
claws.
doing nothing with it. And it's like, that's crazy. Or you're like, let's just go to LA with Paul Simon. Let's just do it right now.
Yeah, Paul Simon, man, he was a surprise when he showed up.
Right, I was super surprised when I was like, "What the fuck?"
Love Paul Simon, by the way. Like, it was cool to see him in there, but again, his character sucked too, kind of.
Yeah, and it's like,
but he didn't. He didn't really do anything weird, actually.
I mean, he kind of did, because his whole thing was like he's trying to fuck her, and he's like just figuring out his like thing. But again, that's another interesting thing of like he's not actively trying to fuck her like you would see in another movie, where
he's not aggressive or anything. He's just like, come stay at my house, fuck it.
Yeah, it's like you know what's gonna happen. Like, I have people here, we're all getting high, we're all fucking around in my LA house, and we're talking. And that's like that time period when you're like, you got to come to LA. It's so different than New York, and it's like. That's so fucking like that's where all the hack comedy started with like
and all his asshole friends like, I was having a threesome with 2 16-year-old girls. Like,
yeah, you're like,
oh my god, what the fuck?
What are you? Why
They're
are
like
you all
45?
Yeah, why are you bragging about this? Like, that's the fuck. Like,
yeah, you should have been like, thanks, man. You saved me from making a huge mistake.
Yeah, like it's so weird. Like. The one thing, like, I don't know how old Shelley Duvall's character is supposed to be in the movie, or how old she was back then, but she's also like a weird, like,
she was like 28, I think, then.
Okay, like she's just also another weird like figure. Like everyone's so weird. Like Carol Kane is 25 in the movie, and also she's had like, I understand being like having a crush on her, because she has like such an odd thing about her.
Yeah. I like her weird ones.
Her eyes are so like trippy, because she's like forever sleepy. Like, I don't know why she has like her eyes always have like circles around them or something. Like I saw her in Scrooge.
I only want to fuck girls that look like they've been up all night long. That's what it is.
I don't. It's like. This movie has some great moments. Like, there are iconic moments that I understand are big and they're like, and they work, like bringing the author to mess with the fucking person who's like miscrediting him in the line. That's great. There's all this like shit and like him like trying to recreate the lobster scene with his with that other girl, and she's just like, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Like,
yeah, it was weird.
It's
I
like,
didn't understand what the fuck that was.
because he's like trying to reminisce about like this relationship, but it's the ultimate thing of like, I don't care about these people. I don't care about this type of person. I don't like.
I couldn't relate to a single person on this entire movie, even a little bit.
Like,
and I'm a 40-something-year-old comedian. You'd think I would have related to that part of it.
Right. Because that's also the funny thing. It's like, he's like, I can't follow a person who just did comedy. And I'm like, the fuck you can't. Like, I'm sorry. Like, we do it all the time.
Of, like, flirting with her?
Yeah. There's a part like where it's like, is this your game? Is this how you fuck? Like, where you're like, I gotta be weird and so nebbishy that like.
Apparently it worked. Is nebbish okay?
I don't really know if nebbish.
I've wanted to use the word nebbish the whole time, but I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I entered this thing.
I'm reading from a Woody Allen dictionary every time I speak for lines.
It has nothing to do. It's just a person, especially a man, who is regarded as pitifully ineffectual, timid, or submissive.
Yeah,
he's nebbish. No money, no prestige, no future. Okay, it's not a slur in any way, shape, or form.
Isn't it fucked up that because I only know, and I think probably you as well, only know the term nebbish because it's been always used to describe Woody Allen, that you're like, that's a little like, that's gonna have a little stank on it a little bit, right?
So I did enjoy the scene. Where he's eating dinner with her family, and all of a sudden, like, he's dressed Hasidic, like, because that's how like her grandmother sees him, like. That part, I thought that part was witty and funny too, though. Like
that's funny. That is like perfect for that time. And it's also because then his family cuts in, and it's basically like in his mind he's thinking about his family, although that part doesn't work nearly as well. There's like a lot of stuff like him like being a child, and I remember like watching it with Jen, like he just up and kisses that girl immediately, and she's like, God damn Woody Allen. He just always doing something wrong, even as a kid, just stealing kisses as a little kid.
You don't steal kisses.
And after World War II, it's like, I feel bad because this is also what really taints this movie for me in a lot of ways, is that I know it's a slice of life movie, and I can only expect so much for a slice of life movie to have a story. But after a certain point, it's like, I don't care. Like, their relationship, even from like, because he's the narrator of this story, and his narration of this story isn't telling me that he loved the relationship, or that he has a romantic view on the relationship in such a way. It's like, I know he does because he wants her back, but you watch his memories, because we're like dealing with his memories of this movie, and I'm like, I don't fucking care. And there's like, it hits a point where you're like, I don't care. Why is this movie so long? Why is this still going on when I'm like...
And here's the thing, man. We're like 40 minutes in right now almost, so we can talk about this a little bit. Every time, like, I did my best to keep it out. Mm-hmm. My thoughts out. But like, because I can separate the actor, the art from the artist. I'm pretty good at that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I could watch The Naked Gun and laugh at O.J. Simpson scenes, I think. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty good at that shit. I could watch Rosemary's Baby and not think about Roman Polanski. You know what I mean? Like, what Roman Polanski did. Like, because I have watched that movie within the last, like, couple years, and it's still a fucking scary horror movie. Like, it's still fine. Like, yeah. But every time I found myself hating Woody Allen in this movie, I found myself hating Woody Allen because he probably did a whole bunch of fucking horrible shit around this time.
Yes. Yeah. That is the biggest thing that I feel like, beyond me, just because, again, 500 Days of Summer still deals with the exact same type of person. High Fidelity still deals with the exact same type of person. but I don't hate those movies. And
No.
when I watch this movie and I watch Woody Allen in this movie, I'm like, I shouldn't be thinking about Diane Keaton's age, but I'm like, oh, he's in a reasonable relationship with this woman. Know why? Because he's a fucking creep. I watch how he behaves with all these other women, and like how his ex-wife, who's Carol Kane, is younger than Diane Keaton. And then you see fucking mousy Shelley Duvall. She's probably younger than like Carol Kane. And then I know about the stuff that he's done, his other movies where he's like, he's fucking a 14-year-old or like a 17-year-old, and that's his thing. And it's
he can't. It's so fucking bad.
And again, it's like he's 40. And not only that, you watch those other movies, and those other movies are about 20 somethings. You know, like where you're watching.
That's the thing, he's fucking in his 40s.
Yeah, he has a fucking adolescent person's age on top of an adolescent person's age. Like when you watch
my age now when this movie was fucking made.
Right. It's like you have a family, you have kids, you have lived a life. You are 20 years removed from your like fuck up lifestyle of being a young person like that. We all still fuck up and stuff because we're all humans. But you're watching this character and he's 40 and we're all supposed to kind of pretend like he's 20 something. Like he does like he's like, this is the beyond just being like neurotic. It's like, you should be past this. You should be past this type of personality. And then you realize it's like, this is the kind of personality that also brings a person into trying to fuck around with young people to a weird, and it's like, it's like, it's
he's that old dude trying to fuck young chicks. Like,
yeah. He like if he was
gross.
Yeah, if he was like 6 feet tall, he would be like fucking Tommy Lee and that kind of mentality of like, or like, because you see it in a person where it's like, because like the Rolling Stones were doing that type of shit. A lot of musicians, like his whole thing is he gets into the, because you can tell his sleaze is different than like I'm cool and hip. His is like, I don't know how to talk to girls, but I'm still gonna, and like, I fall for that. And it's like, it's still predatory in this weird way because he's still in a, like, he's not trying to fuck another comic. He's not trying to fuck another person who has his same standing. He's fucking with people who aren't in his achievement level. He's a famous comedian.
Yeah.
He's kind of like, especially there's also that element of like, beyond him trying to him not wanting Paul Simon to fuck his girl. Also, if she becomes famous for singing or whatever, that's his ticket. He has being a famous person over her in many ways. And that's never going to be really taken into consideration when you watch this, because everyone's like, oh my God, isn't it funny how he seems so nervous to talk to her, blah, blah, blah. But it's also, his fame is his only thing. He's not particularly charming, but he's charming to like a person who isn't set in stone of her own mindset.
If he wasn't a comedian, he'd be working in a fucking pharmacy.
Yeah.
Like, he'd just be this fucking dude behind the counter, like, I got your medicine, and I got, like, he'd be like a character from the Jerky Boys. Like, that's all he would be. It's like, oh my God, I got the ointment for your ass and your nipples. Oh.
Yeah. And so that's what makes him, it's like Woody Allen is just so, it's him so much that you can't separate it, because it's like, it's so autobiographical for him as a person. Like, it feels like Annie Hall is Mia Farrow. Like,
for sure. But there's no journey. Like, usually in these romantic comedies, there's a journey. There's self-reflective, there's a thing. He doesn't change whatsoever throughout the course of this movie. He doesn't learn from his mistakes. He doesn't try and adapt. Like, they break up, and then he just tries to like go to LA to be like, all right, we should be together. Let's get married. And
Yes.
then that doesn't work. And then he doesn't like go home and try and change shit. He doesn't change anything about himself. He just moves on and just fucking laments the fact that he can't be with her.
Yeah. It's like he's just never going to, and you know that, like, because again, all his movies are autobiographical in many ways, that it's just like he's just going to be that guy still. Like
Forever.
he's going to find another Annie Hall or younger, and he's going to have a fucking weird relationship with them, and he's going
her
to be
stepdaughter, and then he's going to marry her.
Like, because again, that's the wild thing about, because of it being Woody Allen, it goes. Reason why he couldn't be happy with her almost is because she was 31 and she's not nearly as naive.
Yeah.
She's rich person. Yeah.
Too many pubes. It's too many fucking pubes. He didn't like it. He couldn't handle the pubes. Were aggressive. The pubes were a threat to who he was as a person. And he needed to be out of there, because Diane Keaton's got a fucking mane. I mean, just based off of As Good as It Gets. Like, if she didn't do anything, if that's the way her bush looked in fucking 1998, like in 1978, that thing looked like fucking Bob Ross painting a picture.
I will say this. You just saying that makes me wish that there was like an R-rated version of this movie and him just trying to like I just this too I can't.
Oh my god, I got him that.
He's like I can't eat pussy. I can't. It's not culture.
There's so many. There's so many.
My mother would be.
He goes down on Shelley Duvall for a long time because he's like his jaw hurts.
Holy shit! All right.
And then he goes and starts kissing fucking Diane Keaton when he goes to her house to kill that fucking spider.
Right. Holy shit! Can we talk about that? So gladly. I will say this. This is one of those funny fucking moments when you're like, man, PG was drastically different in the 70s. This is a PG movie, and it's all about fucking and cocaine and a bunch of other crazy shit. And like literally, there's a pussy eating joke in this movie. And I was like, holy shit, how is that a fucking thing? How is this a PG movie? Like, how is this and the Goonies got the same rating?
Right? Well, the Goonies have an upside down dick joke, so it's okay.
That's true. That's one of those funny things where I'm like watching this movie and like this would have definitely been a PG-13 R-rated type of movie like later.
That's because it didn't show any nudity, and back then it was just about showing nudity or killing somebody.
That's so true. It had no funny nudity because again, like back then also there was nudity. Like one joke in Airplane is just a lady's tits pop up on the screen. Oh, yeah. And it like
think about Back to School, the first movie I ever saw boobs. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Like he opens up the shower and she's standing there naked. He's like, you're perfect. Yeah.
There's all that like fuck.
It's funny boobs. Funny boobs are great. Funny boobs. Fucking like horror movies are known for having the most amount of boobs, but like comedy boobs are fucking outstanding.
Comedy boob. There's like full frontal nudity in 16 Candles. At the time, that's a PG movie.
There?
Yeah, it's like early on in the movie is full frontal nudity. One of the first lines of the movie is "They forgot my fucking birthday," and it's like this is an R-rated ass movie.
Was she naked?
Not Molly Ringwald.
My birthday? Oh, I don't remember the nudity in that movie.
It's her describing like one of her classmates, and then they cut to a scene of her classmate in the showers, and she's like full ass nude, and it's like it's weird.
That's a teen girl nudity too. What the fuck? They didn't care about anything back in the day.
Not at all. That's a fucking.
Damn.
They really didn't.
I'm surprised we didn't see Kelly Kapowski's asshole back in Saved by the Bell.
That's because Reagan. They were post Reagan.
Fuck you, Reagan.
Reagan is the cause of a lot of our stresses.
I swear to God. The 80s would have been so much cooler. Think about that. Sweet Valley High, nudity.
But this
movie just makes me sigh. I had a hard time watching it. I was mad the whole time I was watching this movie. I tried watching it like 5 days ago, and I just fucking couldn't. I was sitting there. It was late at night. It was just me watching it, and I was like, I would rather be watching anything right now. I did.
Would you be rather watching Curse of the Jade Scorpion, another Woody Allen joint, but this time it's in the 90s?
Remember that one.
The
only other one I saw is the one with Sean Penn, where he's a blues guitar player.
That's
Low Down Dirty, I think.
Okay, I've never heard of this movie.
Hold on, it's Sean Penn. He's like a 1920s like blues guitarist. Hold on, we're gonna find this fucker from like the mid 90s.
I love that this is the first episode we have video, and we're gonna have like us just be on our phones trying to remember. Yeah, but we're like let's make sure we look at this stuff.
Sweet and Lowdown.
Okay, yeah, that was like 99.
Yeah, that was the only other one I saw.
And I forgot he directed.
Because I'm a big Sean Penn fan.
Celebrity. I remember Mighty Aphrodite and.
Yeah,
I just
doesn't matter. This is us, you guys. This is us. We just research shit while we're talking. But you can hear us do that anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah, right.
Now you can see our pretty little faces, and you'll be like, "Wow, Rick's beard got really white." And it did.
It's good. Sorry. I like it. Sorry. I like it. If you put it next to the mic, it disappear. Like
if you put it next to the mic, I look like a characterization of Diane Keaton's current Bush. Just a big white fluff of what the fuck with little bits of fucking steak in there. Little bits of whatever I had for dinner stuck in there.
Under a pantsuit. Just like
under a pantsuit. And some kind of a weird quirky necktie. Like a bolo tie and a pantsuit and like a funny hat. Basically, Diane Keaton is Blossom.
Adult Blossom. Diane Keaton also looks like dresses like Johnny Depp and Benny and June.
And kind of like Ducky in 16 Candles.
Right? Diane Keaton, loser dude, fashion icon. Like
Bush throughout the ages. That's actually the Bush they're talking about in every Vietnam movies. That's no, I don't know, man. I don't know. Let's talk about this movie for a little bit more, and then I'm gonna fucking.
I don't think.
Or can we just be done? We don't have to do a full hour. We can punch out early today.
Yeah, we can be done because this is the at the end of the day. I think it's not our cup of tea. Is the polite way of saying that. It's also just like I don't care. Like I don't care. I don't care so much about this type of person that I can't fake.
Yeah, this is like yuppie culture that everyone like hates from like that era.
Yeah, and it's like okay, and I'm like bringing it back to like us talking about Animal House. It's just like I don't like this type of person, so it just doesn't work. Animal House is a fucking just all around bad movie. At least this movie is well made. It's well structured.
Yeah.
It's
not a piece of shit. Like I came off like hard because of the it made me feel emotions that weren't happiness.
Yeah.
Like, but I wasn't like, but it was just because of a complete, like I could watch Lord of the Rings and find and connect to a character at some point. Yeah. I had zero connections to this movie. Like I didn't enjoy a single character whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just like, okay, I can take all of the good of it being just like a really well made movie. It's shot well, it's edited well, it's written well enough. It's just so like the characters are so unlikable, and this movie is it's hanging everything on that. If this was like a ceiling fan or whatever, like the characters are the bolts, and you're like, this shit's falling. Like,
Yeah, you're like laying in bed looking at it wobbling, being like, I'm gonna get hit in the fucking face by one of these things. And at some point you almost hope for it. And that's what this movie is. This movie makes you want to get hit in the face by a ceiling fan.
Like maybe something interesting will like maybe if it falls, like all of a sudden like it catches my blanket and it gets all tangled.
Yeah.
Like something funny
But
will
at the very
happen.
least, I don't have to go to work tomorrow if this thing whaps me in the forehead. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's like, all right,
fuck it. Yeah, guys, we didn't like this movie, but that's okay.
Maybe you did. And fucking comment. You guys, all right, so we're going to be on YouTube now. Fucking like and hit that fucking button for alerts. Hit the bell. I don't know. Whatever
subscribe.
other YouTube people ask you to
yeah.
fucking do that. Like, I've never done it once in my life. So you guys should do it, though. Click that little bell down here. Probably here. Maybe here. Maybe it's up there. I don't fucking know where
it's
it is.
usually
It's in
up
this
some
area.
whatever I put it and when we upload it or whatever. But please like it, subscribe, comment about it, because that's one of the big things is that this is one of those movies that is like championship material. Everyone fucking Googles and blah blah blah.
People love this fucking movie. So if you guys put it out there that we're talking shit about it, people will come and fucking let's generate some fucking chaos. And look, our links are going to be up here somewhere probably too. If Clayton's, I don't know how to edit shit, but Clayton's that guy. Bah, that's my Instagram. Bah, that's my Twitter. Bah, that's my Spotify. I don't know. Check out the playlist I made. It's really fun. Bah. That's all I got. I don't know what kind of special effects we got. Explosions!
Yeah.
Must.
Oh my god. But please check us out. Nobody Watches Everything on Instagram. Nobody Watches Everything on Facebook. We'll get a TikTok. We'll make some clips of these things. We'll do some stuff. We're trying to look at him. Look at you. Couldn't see this shit. Like you couldn't see this shit before.
I would have done it anyways.
Yeah, you couldn't see this shit before, but now it's here. And like we're just trying to do stuff because we want you to love us, and we love you. So yeah, please subscribe, watch the videos, and listen. I'm looking at you directly into the camera. Please, we love you. Thank you. Goodbye.
I'm gonna suck that dick.
He says it right into
ASMR, right into Diane Keaton's pussy, which I fucking caught like a hunter. It's my trophy.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.